Welcome to the Voice of Seven Thunders, a production of the Gospel Trumpet Publishing Company.
Thank the Lord.
Well, we have a common saying among us, you missed it. If you weren't here, you didn't see it. We had an outstanding evening
Especially
tonight.
the end, yes.
Very fast-paced, a lot of content, but extremely critical. And one of the things, two things in my mind that are very, very important. One is that I think that when you think of the Revelation and you see the imagery that John speaks about, one of the things that people want to know most about are these beasts, right? These scary beasts.
Right.
So the fact that we covered that, I think is exciting and makes something that the people are going to want to see, number one. But number two, this real lack of understanding about these beasts really is so critical, and I'm just thrilled that we got it covered today.
Yes.
And your brother did an excellent job. So, Brother Addison, you started off at the beginning of the service. You started off with the two beasts that are mentioned in Revelation chapter 13. I'll pull up one of them here. This is the first one that was mentioned.
He's ugly, isn't he?
He is ugly. And then this is the second one. What I would like to do, because we have a short time here and we're just trying to spark interest and give an overview, I want to go to this beast here.
Yes.
This beast is, in short, represents the Protestant beast, which already I hope that some people are going, did you just say Protestantism is a beast? Yeah, I did say that. Protestantism is a beast. So talk about this as, my words, the consummate of all false religion.
Okay, brother. So that's a big question.
Consummation of all false religion.
You have to go watch the rest of the series where we're studying about there are seven heads, right? And there's an eighth beast, but he's of the seven. So he's number 7 of 7 heads or 7 kings. And again, if you go back into the sessions, you'll find we've been teaching about the apostasy that began way back through Cain and how that's worked down through all the ages.
Yes.
And as that apostasy grew among people, as it grew in society, it kept changing forms, and the prophets would actually judge it, and then it would evolve. And as that kept happening, it gets worse. Because actually, time is not getting better. People aren't getting better. Evil ministers are waxing worse and worse. So when you get to the end of time, you have this system that rises up called Protestantism. And no, we're not Protestants. Right? We don't believe that we're Protestants. We are Christians, however. But in short, this was a system that looked like a lamb. It looked like it portrayed itself as Christianity. The scripture also calls it a false prophet.
Portrayed itself as Christianity.
So it portrayed itself as Christianity, and very convincingly, because the whole world is persuaded. So the perception is, if you're not a Catholic, then if you're a Christian, you're a Protestant. So this beast is the culmination, that's what I was trying to get tonight, is the culmination of sectarian false religion. And it culminates and is actually very, very bad. But again, there's a lot we said in the session.
You talked about its power to work miracles.
Can I say something about that?
Please.
Because I didn't say it well in the session. I know. Okay, so here's what happens. And some of our viewers aren't going to understand this, but again, they'll just go watch the sessions, right? So what happens is the Catholic system rises up. No, we're not Catholic. We believe there are saved people all around the world right now in different beliefs. We believe they're saved, but we believe that Catholicism as a system is wrong. Okay? So Catholicism rises up. It reigns for however many years. And then Protestantism rises up, and they begin protesting the Catholic Church. And then the perception of the masses begins to change about
the Catholic Church.
About Catholicism. So what happens is this beast rises up, then it reaches back into the spirit of Catholicism, and it makes an image of Catholicism, and actually causes people to worship the same thing that they were just talking bad about. And then what they do is they control the people's perceptions about it, and then it hides itself behind that image. It actually works like a puppet. It controls the people's perceptions about the beast, and then what it does is it conceals the deception that it just did. It's actually a masterful miracle. It's a deception.
And so the Bible calls that a miracle, and that a part of the deception of miracle working is people look for miracles in the grand, in the supernatural. They want God to come down out of heaven himself and appear. Whereas we're saying, while we're looking for that, this thing was already working this miracle behind the scenes to cause the whole world to fall under deception about both Catholicism and itself.
And by controlling what people thought about
controlling. That's what I wanted to ask you. How are we saying that this is controlling the perceptions of the people?
Well, it writes history. right?
Okay, so you're saying Protestantism history is largely written by
absolutely
Protestantism. Okay,
absolutely,
very good.
yeah.
Very good.
And so by controlling the people's perception about Catholicism, it actually causes people to worship it. It's talking bad about it at the same time,
right?
And it hides what it did.
So the history that we've been given, we've essentially been given by this beastly system,
absolutely,
which has diverted our minds or taken our minds into a wrong perception of even what Christianity is.
And even about what Catholicism is. We're looking backwards through history through the wrong lens, through this imagery that it creates.
So one of the things that was mentioned was the damage done by, for example, the Catholic Crusades, right? It's well-documented history, documented by the Protestants.
Yes.
Right.
But then we don't hear about the conquest of Protestant movements throughout the entire world that cause more destruction, more destitution, more death, more slavery,
brother,
more oppression.
I don't mean interrupting you, but there are some Catholic people, and I believe even some saved Catholic people, who know that. Who know their history, and they would argue this point. If you look at history, this system actually killed more people than Catholicism did.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And that's one of the confusions of people looking on why they won't even want to be a Christian. Because they look on and they say, well, look at all the death that the Christian church calls.
That's right.
And if they're looking at this beast,
It's a false prophet.
they're correct. But the scripture does call it a false prophet. So they have a false...
So it's actually not Christianity. Protestantism is not Christianity.
And part of the miracle would be also convincing them that Christians were involved in these wars and all this death. That's part of the miracle.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So then our second session,
Yes,
part of the evening, Brother Ray.
Look at that.
Now this was tremendous.
Now, this is
here.
a tremendous creature here.
You're going to have something to say.
Brother Ray
about
calls
that.
it a critter.
Yeah, I did.
And so we have this entity. We have a woman. We have this scarlet-colored beast. We have 7 heads. We have 10 horns.
Right.
Called the
Eighth beast.
The eighth beast, brother.
That's right.
So now we're really digging into some deep scriptural truth here.
Yes.
Because really, it's only talked about in one place in the Bible.
That's true.
And to be able to reach into the scriptures and pull it out, where did this come from? Where did this start? What's the origin of this beast?
That's a good question. I was going to say, so it's only talked about one place in the Bible by the name eighth beast.
Right.
But go ahead. You're going to deal with the origin.
Well, I would say if this is the eighth beast, then of course there has to be 7 before it.
Yes, very good.
You can't be just 8 out of nowhere. So as we look through the Revelation and through Daniel, we find the other 7 beasts. And actually, this picture is very good because it does depict the other 7 as a part of the 1/8. In fact, Brother Addison was just talking about the lamb-like beast, and you see him over here. And the scripture says that he is of the 7, or made up of the completeness of the other 7.
Right.
And then we see him afterwards, which makes him the 8th. But we find out through study that he's been there all along since the fall on the rebellion in the garden, and we have the 2 seeds. So we have Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. We have the seed of the woman. We have the seed of the serpent. So we have 2 seeds. In fact, the entire scriptures deal with the 2 seeds. Mm-hmm. So this battle, this fight is between the 2 seeds. And actually, this is the seed of the serpent. This is the fullness of the seed of the serpent. That's what that is.
So one of the points you brought out was that it says that she was drunken with the blood of the martyrs.
That's right.
Okay? She's drunken with the blood of the saints.
That's right.
Is it limited to the saints?
Well, no. Those who would be saints.
Mm-hmm.
She kept them from being saints, those who would have been converted, those who would have been saved. True. And through her work, kept them, and she's guilty for that too.
That's right.
So I think the world is full of confusion because of the mass of things that we see, but this helps to reduce it, right?
Yes, of course.
This helps to reduce it. So my question is this: what is responsible for every ill in the world? It's a T-ball question.
Well, it's false religion. It's this false religion. It's not just having wrong doctrine or just misunderstanding eschatology, but it's responsible for the drugs. It's responsible for breaking up of homes and families that are broken up. And it's responsible for the slavery, financial corruption, all of it.
Yes.
Right. You read that it was the mother of harlots, the mother of abominations.
The mother of harlot.
Okay, and that's why that's represented as a woman. So we see there's a woman sitting here.
That's right. That's right.
So all abominations are birthed born from this.
Since the beginning of time.
Which
very
helps
beginning.
us to understand, and I know this is skipping a little bit, and our viewers may not understand all of this, but they need to listen to the whole thing.
Yes.
But if she's the one responsible, if false religion has passed this curse into the human family, then we also then recognize that it's the preaching of the gospel that saves
Very good.
the human family.
That's good.
Excellent point.
That's good.
And an excellent point to end this podcast on. Thank you so much for taking the time to view this. Please go back and listen to the entirety of the presentation.
Absolutely.
The
Yes.
things that we've been doing. This is session number 12, I
Brother,
believe.
they'll really want to hear this.
You'll want to hear this, and you'll want to listen to the 11 prior to it.
But
because
you don't
this
want to
is
listen to
building.
this one tonight unless you're fresh in your mind.
Yes, because
we
there
went fast.
We went fast. These were deep truths, and we built from a basis of understanding that many of our people already have.
Right.
So I say that to say this: if you have questions, we do want to hear from you. You can send them to editor@thegospeltrumpet.com. Again, editor@thegospeltrumpet.com. Please take just a moment, hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you just want more information, please go to our website at www.churchofgod.com.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching.
Watching is good.
Thank you for watching. Lord bless you.